Everyone gather round.
What day is it?
Well, let's see. It's Thursday, right?
Oh, it's only the best day of the year.
Just a regular Thursday.
Oh, come on. It's Thursday.
Say what?
Who wants to put on a show?
I've got a real problem with the direction our show is going.
We think our show is just getting good.
Wrong again.
So let's turn it up a notch.
The party is just getting started.
I'm listening.
Let's go.
It's time to hit it.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. Well, after 2 days of Big 12 Media Day coverage, we are back to normal today, almost. We're going to start this first hour off with a lot of the highlights, the best of from day 2 at the Big 12 Media Days. First, the big game tonight. I have to say, perfect time for Summer League to take a break. A legit day off and a day where the Jazz played, but they didn't play anybody important. And that third game in Salt Lake City, they sat Ace Bailey, they sat Cody Williams, they sat Darren Peterson. That was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, they didn't play. So perfect time to have Big 12 Media Days. Now, with Big 12 Media Days over, the Jazz will be back at it against the Wizards. Games all day in Las Vegas. They've got 2 gyms there. They've got the main arena at Thomas and Mack, and then the Cox Arena that they built, they added on there, where I think volleyball and women's basketball play. And the Jazz, who are frequently shuttled off, not this year. No. Tonight, as Vegas kicks off the marquee game at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. It'll be your Utah Jazz and the Washington Wizards, because I do believe people want to see the number 1 draft pick, A.J. Devonta, and the number 2 pick, Darren Peterson, go head-to-head. Now, will they really go head-to-head? It's positionless basketball. Do they want to see if they can defend each other? Do the Jazz want to see if Peterson can defend a bigger guy? My guess is no. But they'll be on the court together, and that's enough. We can hype that up, and it'll give you something to watch and get excited about tonight, 7 o'clock. And it will be intriguing to see how it goes. Now, Peterson has played 2 of the 3 Summer League games for the Jazz, has a little something under his belt, whereas Ace will be playing his first game, and these just notoriously get ragged. But you know what? Who cares? We got the top 2 picks going at it, and they'll entertain us one way or another, for better or worse. I'm sure people will draw wild conclusions from it, which is crazy. Take a more measured approach, and I'll wait, 20, 30 games into their first regular season. Then I'll make a snap judgment. Probably need to dial that back. But nonetheless, it'll be fun to watch tonight, 7 o'clock, and the game is on ESPN, which works out perfect. There's only one World Cup game today. France and Morocco are going to play at 2 o'clock on Fox. So there's a couple things for you to watch there. You got the soccer in the afternoon, and you got the Jazz at night, and then we'll be back here tomorrow morning breaking it all down for you. Perfect. All right, that's the big thing coming up tonight. So now let's move ahead and let's get to the best of the Big 12 Media Day yesterday. A lot going on. Head coach Morgan Scalley, athletic director Mark Harlan talking with the guys, Devon Dampier, and Johnathan Hall. We've got all of them for you. Let's start with Johnathan Hall right now with PK and Scotty G and Jake and Tim Lacombe all there. Here's Johnathan Hall.
Johnathan, good morning. Good to see you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing amazing. It's great to be in Texas right now.
Texas is home, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Near Houston?
Yes, sir. For sure.
So the humidity when you walk out, that just feels really good to you.
Yeah, I'm used to it. So
right.
It's not,
I mean, to guys like us, it's kind of a drag, but I get it.
No, for sure. I'm used to it, so it's nothing to me.
Talk to me about what's going on right now in the locker room. Things kind of starting to form for a season that everybody's excited to see, because it's the first time in a long time without Kyle Whittingham.
Mm-hmm. Yes, man. Coach Scalley, he does an amazing and a great job about team camaraderie. And we all are like family. We all talk outside of football. We all, live next to each other. So this season, we are so close. We got a lot of group of guys that love the game and love football, and we'll go out and show it this season.
Morgan Scalley's still around, obviously has a promotion, but he was your coordinator for many years. And Colton Swan, who was a linebacker coach, which is a position you play. So I would think from the linebacker linebacker perspective, it's got to be a smooth transition since you've been coached by him since you moved down from safety.
Yes, sir. It definitely is a smooth transition, and also I will say Coach Swan, he does an amazing job about learning and really teaching us everything that we need to know that is different. So I will say we're fine on both ends for sure.
Do you expect Coach Swan to put his own kind of, I don't know, the signature on the defense?
He
I'm
does.
sure that's a stamp. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Nah, for sure. He took over some stuff with Scalley, but he definitely has his own type of style, his own type of. It's a whole it's the same, but it's different. It's his way. So we loving it, man. We are enjoying it, and he tell us play fast and physical. So.
You're a playmaker, man. Made a ton of tackles last year flying around the field. As you're watching your tape from last year, and I know you're a detail guy, what are the things that stand out that you want to get better at?
I definitely say I want to be more of a leader on the defensive side. You feel me? This spring, I definitely can see that all the guys, they'll look to me, or all else fails, all the guys on defense look to me. You feel me? I'm the leader of the defense, so I'll really say just me taking on that role, and you feel me being the best I can be as a leader, for sure.
Yeah, you got a lot of experience, almost 2 years of starting experience, and add on another about double that in terms of playing. And so you speak of yourself as a leader, as you should, because you've got the veteran experience. Sure. But has it just crept on you really fast? You're a senior now, Jono.
Yeah, man, it didn't flew by, man. Me coming up to Utah, it was a big risk. Just coming here definitely just changed my life, and I owe the world to Utah and University of Utah. They done so many things, and this season we will have a great and amazing season, and I can't wait to, you feel me? I can't wait to get it started.
I know you guys are very team-oriented, but from an individual standpoint, how do you measure success for yourself?
Yeah.
Is it stats, or how do you do that?
Me, I'm not a big stat guy. I really don't care too much about the media. I really don't care too much about stats. The main focus for me is definitely just having that team, like a team win, or like anything team orientated. That's where I really find my joy, because anything that's just me, I had 10 other guys right next to me to help me out. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely say just the team accolades, I will say, for sure.
Off the field, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
I mean, we get to watch you tackle, and, you
Right.
got 10 tackles against Texas Tech last year. Are you flying around? But off the field, what do we find you doing?
Man, you can find me chilling right there at Lance Holzclaw. He's my next door neighbor. So we be chilling all the time. I love to fish. I love to cook. I love chilling with family, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just a real laid-back guy, chill. I don't really go out too much. I don't really talk to too many people, so I just be in my own world, to be honest.
Since you've been in Salt Lake for a number of years, you've obviously made the transition, so you've got that down. That's taken care of. But how about when you were just a young kid, basically, when you're coming out of high school down there in the southern part of Texas, coming all the way up to the mountains? You made the transition, so it worked, but how was it?
Really? I will say the coaches, they do an amazing job of just having us, you feel me, we all get homesick. And I got homesick a couple of times, but I had coaches that was there to come to my dorm and just talk to me, or just call me over the phone, or they make it really welcoming when you first come in, for sure. And then all our teammates, when I came in, we had Vele, we had Sione Vaki, we had Cole Bishop, and they was the leaders to me, and they kind of just took me under their wing and was like, hey, this is how you do it, this and that and the third. So I really didn't have too much time to just dread about home, because I was just in the film room just practicing the playbook,
staying busy.
Exactly. So I definitely say it's super welcoming from the coaches. They do a very, very good job.
Well, Johnathan, we can't thank you enough for stopping by. Good luck with the season coming up. Oh, what do you like to cook, real quick?
I like to cook some chicken Alfredo. My biggest thing, I love to cook steak.
Oh,
it's
man.
easy for me.
Oh, yeah.
Invite me over.
For sure, yeah.
Hey, Bar W beef, man. That's the stuff you need.
No.
Good luck, Johnathan. Thank you
so
very
much.
much. We appreciate it.
All right, there's Johnathan Hall. We'll take a break. We will come back. Mark Harlan, Utah Athletic Director, coming up next. Later on, Morgan Scalley and Devon Dampier. Stay with us right here on The Zone. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, let's get back to the Star in Dallas, the best of Big 12 Media Days. Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan meeting with PK. Plenty of Arizona jokes between those two guys since PK went to ASU and Mark's an Arizona guy. Tim Lacombe, Scotty G, and Jake Scott. All right, here they are with Mark Harlan, Utah Athletic Director.
A lot of things to talk about, but first off, one of the bigger storylines is a switch in apparel. What's the process in making that switch? Because I know that's not an easy thing to after a long time with Under Armour.
Yeah, Under Armour has been a terrific partner, for 17 years, and I think before we were scattered, in different brands. So I really, This last year, I started talking to Kevin Plank about, what do we do in the future as the deal was going. He wanted to renew right away, which was great. It's not as easy as it once was to get these deals. They've tightened up a little bit. But I asked him for consideration to let us go out early and talk to the others. I thought we owed it. We had new coaches. We got our new company, Crimson Brand Partners. We got a lot of different things cooking. And he was like, okay, go check it out. The contract was restrictive, so he had to allow that. And we went out there and we learned a lot. We talked to all of them. They were all interested. And, Adidas kind of rose above everybody, for a couple different reasons. One, just the way they're going to, kind of activate their brand with our brand. Their president came down, went through our bookstore. Here he is getting ready for all the World Cup stuff, but he was taking all the time. He wanted to walk campus and – big golfer, by the way, PK.
Oh, nice.
So
that's not a deal
so
breaker.
We'll catch you on your Wednesday matches, whatever you guys talk about.
Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Tuesday. So it just it just came down to really one big difference for me, which was their NIL programming. Quite candidly, they have an all student athlete approach to it, not just the big names. And very innovative. And when I talked to Graham at ASU and Travis at Kansas, it was real. It wasn't just something on paper. So
we are Adidas.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that's right. So we went back to Under Armour and we had a tough conversation, but we agreed we're gonna have a great year. In our final go around with all our sports, and we'll switch over next July 1st. We're really looking forward to it.
Crazy impressed with the athletes that have come through today. We had great interview just recently with Dampier and Holtzclaw, who went back and represented Congress. Right. But the topic of conversation is a new coach, and we had Morgan on first thing. And I think the last, Holtzclaw and Dampier said it best. Like they invested in him, like them That's being right. here. They could have run. Talk about Morgan Scalley, and I know you probably already see what I see in terms of what he's going to be. But that is the topic. Can Utah continue to be Utah with a new coach?
Yeah, Morgan's so prepared. It's one thing to say it, and then it's one thing to see it like I get to watch. I mean, from the moment I called him on the 26th and I said, hey, man, you want to coach this game? We've had a little change in some calls I was on earlier in the morning, and he's like, let's go. And from that moment on, it's been let's go. It's like he imagined a roadmap that was going to go all these different directions, and so he's planned for everything. Because as soon as we got back to campus, then we're dealing with the portal, and we that portal got a little bit more spicy than maybe we predicted, and managing that, keeping a level head, zig and zagging, and then that leads into spring football and the energy on the practice field. And I think the one thing that I've really enjoyed is, and it's true, I don't think this is any secret, there's been kind of a defensive-offensive approach at Utah for a long time, and to watch the team all come together under some of the leadership training that Morgan's doing for all of them, and, kind of being one a little bit more than we've been, I think will be really helpful in certain situations as we move forward. But the staff he brought in, I can go on and on. He's prepared. He's ready. And, what a rare opportunity for an athletic director to work with somebody up close for 7 years and see it. And I know, I knew he was ready. Sometimes you meet these guys and you hire them in 6 days. That's just the way college football works in basketball, but not here. So he's ready to roll. And we had a ball yesterday just flying out talking about there's just this enthusiasm that comes out. I'm sure you guys, I listened to it this morning.
No doubt.
And it's special. And the guys feel it. The guys feel it, and that's really important.
Yeah, I had an idea that it was coming on the 26th, and we all thought that was going to be an off day. Turns out it wasn't, which is fine.
Sorry about that.
No.
Especially to you.
I just pushed it back. I was down south.
At least it wasn't the 25th.
Even better. Yeah.
Almost was.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. But going forward, and that's what we have to do for you, there's so much pressure always on football and so much attention. It just floats and carries everything. And now it's controversial, Mark, that he left. Speaking of Kyle, obviously, and you're a guy that I can speak frankly to because you're going to acknowledge it and not pretend it doesn't exist. And I think we have that type of relationship. And so with that in mind, you're sort of now tied at the hip of Morgan Scalley because he's your guy and you're thought of that it's making the move. But there's always pressure. Do you feel it anymore? Because even no matter if Joe Blow was coaching there, it would still be a ton of pressure because of what Utah football has become.
Well, I appreciate that relationship we have. I just know at the ASU, I just got to talk a little slower. So I'll talk slow in my answer to this. That's a you.
Thank you so much for that. I'm appreciative that your wife, a few years back, bought you a thesaurus so you could actually use words that have more than one syllable.
No, spell thesaurus. What was your question again?
He thinks that's a dinosaur.
Well, because he is. No.
Okay.
Let's keep going. No, listen, there's pressure. I think any athletic director feels pressure. I know the outside likes to talk about it's your guy because you hired him.
Right. And you've heard all that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get that. And when I was at South Florida, it was the same thing. When I hired Charlie Strong, it's your guy, I guess I've never operated that way. I mean, I had a great relationship with Whit. We certainly had some disagreements along the way, like every athletic director and football coach. I mean, I don't know if anybody, if there's not some tension there, you're probably not doing it the right way, or we're not pushing each other the right way. We certainly at the end just couldn't figure out a way to keep him another year, and we tried, and it is what it is. It's pretty public and all that other.
Yeah.
I wish him the absolute best. I mean, I really do, and I just talked to Doug Elisaya the other day. I mean, these are some really good people. So. But, I don't look at it that way. I look at the fact that we have a great structure that he left, that Morgan was trained in, and I feel like we have a great roster, and I feel like the work has been intense, and that's all you can really ask for. So I know that that's a fair question. I don't feel anything different. There's always a sense of anxiety, whenever I'm at media day, whatever team that I've been around, because you see everybody else apparently has been lifting weights too.
Yeah, there you go.
And and plotting and planning. I talked to a lot of coaches here today, so I think there's always a little bit of that. But I'm being honest when I say whether it was Alex's first year or Craig's first year, you don't feel much differently. You just want to make sure you're continuing to support them so that they can have the best kind of success.
And I think the good thing for you guys is, at least from my projection, the success I think will come over the next September, October, November, and all that stuff. I think you're going to have a good team.
Well, I was thinking about – I've talked to Morgan about pressure, right? Does he feel – I mean, you can imagine he just is so excited and ready. I just don't sense it. I think it's always good for us always to feel pressure. You guys got pressure on ratings, and there's just things that are there.
Well, those guys do.
Yeah. Those guys.
His contract's, much different than ours, Mark.
Guaranteed, whether it's a 0 or a 10 or whatever.
I just love that you put him in his spot. Yeah, that's what I love.
Again. People thinking they'll hear that, he hates PK, but they don't know that's not the truth.
It's not the way it is.
Yeah, we know it because he's done that.
What's your partner? After I interrupted him on our last interview, I saw him the next day at McBride's golf tournament.
He
goes, I'm sorry. I go, well, I'm sorry. And everyone thinks we hate each other.
I know. He told me about that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
When you the private equity thing, I think the influx of money, I think sometimes may feel like donors are like, all right, you guys are good.
Right.
There's no such thing as a plateau in this day and age. Ever in college athletics, but especially in this day and age. That certainly is helpful, but certainly you can't say, okay, you guys are off the hook now, because fundraising is always such a huge issue in college athletics.
Yeah, we certainly knew when we created Crimson Brand Partners, and by the way, they're up and running and hiring people. We think it's going to get to 70 before the football season. They're really cooking, and it's exciting to watch them and work with them, and it's going to be great. We look forward to updating everybody as we try different things. But you hit on something that was a concern when I first was diving into this a few years ago is, would donors feel that? And so we've been really clear with certainly our top families and our top people about the fact that, this is operational money that's going to help us move forward and retain and all that. But we still have a scholarship bill that is critical. We added 30 scholarships in the program last year, which we haven't said enough about. That's part of the new rules where it's not scholarship, restrictions anymore. There's just roster restrictions. So we're asking our donors to fund that. We've got 5 people on our mental health team now, which I think have been critical to us having top 5 graduation rates in the country at University of Utah. So we need that privately supported, quite candidly. And so we're going to be launching a campaign on that, and it's just education, talking to people, right? Because people see private equity and they gag, right? So we really got to make sure people understand what we're doing there, and then still the importance of the Crimson Club. We finished the year, I think, with close to 13,000 donors, the highest we've ever had, and we need to make sure that number continues to rise.
I know there were some knee-jerk radio guys that were talking about that deal, right, Paul? I talked to Paul one day. Maybe we had said a little too much, and you know what? It was exactly that. Probably don't have all the facts, but one thing I do love is that it's operating cash to generate cash.
Right.
I mean, that's really the message, or that's really the use of that.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, too, it's as simple as just trying to get better. We've had outside companies partner with us for years. Learfields, they're called, and others, and we've had legends, ironically, owned by the Cowboys, doing our outbound ticket sales, 11 employees that have been on campus for years. Those groups are now vacating, and this group comes in. And so, operationally, it's really going to allow us to improve both in fan experience because we're investing more, quite candidly, to your point.
Right.
And people and in things. It's not, you're not going to walk in the first football game now and see everything different. We got a lot of work to do. I mean, we'll have those fancy lights that BYU has. Everybody gives me all the grief. I get so much grief on that. Harlan, where's the red lights? Like, I don't know. But we got them now.
Where's our drones?
As long as we push the right button. Yeah, where's our drones? We had that at baseball. We'll have some of that stuff that they'll see. But it's just going to allow us, like, the big thing that President Randall did and the trustees is they listened because businesses now, especially with Ryan and everything he's doing downtown with his 2 incredible teams, they create these corporate partnerships that are, way beyond a sign. They're true partners. That's what we're doing. And the whole campus is involved now. So now we can go out and speak to a big-time place, and we can talk about being involved with the whole university, not just – and we're already seeing some success. We had a great one this week that worked out. That's going to be kind of where we are. But I get it. People want to know, what are you doing with this billions and billions? I mean, I've heard all these different numbers, and I know everyone wants to know. But that's there for us to grow. That's there for us to help until we get above the line, right? We have deficits now. Everybody deficits.
Does, yeah.
And it's just – so we'll be able to do that. And then lastly, just what they're going to do for us in NIL is just a whole different – the above rev share number, and we're going to start seeing a lot of our athletes in these all-campus deals. It's going to be really exciting.
I am curious to know how it works in terms of what your relationship is with them, and who has final say over staffing and
right.
even the details of that.
Well, Matt Webb, who we'll get on your guys' show, he's here now. He's the president. He's the former SVP for the Saints and for the Pelicans. He's terrific. He and I meet every Monday morning. We go through everything they're working on, thinking about. We got some CapEx in this deal. We're going to do some improvements to the stadium and other things. We've worked on all that. And so is that New York?
Yeah.
Is that PK?
PK is like
we can't take this.
You can turn your phone off.
It's a good song, though.
I think
it could have been worse on his phone.
The worst is, by the way, Ron McBride, who does a show with us every Friday, he's got this like air horn from World War II.
Yeah. I love when he's on. I listen every time.
That's an honor of my parents. They're gone now, and they like Frank Sinatra.
See what he just did there.
Yeah,
redirected to make us all feel bad.
And you get up and walk away, and we get to sit here for a couple more hours.
Yeah. I just want to make some people don't think I really am a human being, and I have emotions.
No, you are.
And
you're real.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come down in.
You're a real something.
You're not AI yet. So
you got to come get in studio with us when we get back home sometime.
No, I'd love to do that. But just closing on that thought, I'm the chairman of the board.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, that's why I thought that's why you're playing that. I'm chair of the board, and so obviously that's just that, and the university has governance rights on everything. So and all stuff. So if they bring us a dumb sponsor, we'll say no, we're not doing that. I mean that's silly, but they won't. Yeah. But so I still have full say as you'd expect for all the coaching, all the personnel, all that. But I've interviewed all the people he's bringing in, and if I didn't like one, I told him. If I liked him, I told him, right? I mean, it's a very collaborative process because if we're not collaborative, we're not going to get the lift that we need.
Have you found that Morgan Scalley can actually help you in the fundraising portion? Because I relate it to when Kalani went from Oregon State to BYU, right? Lavelle Edwards retired. They have two coaches. One was very successful, the other not so much. But neither of them were so-called BYU guys, right? Kalani brought back everything. And I was out of town, so I couldn't come to the press conference for Scalley, or else I would have been there. But the thing that when he got done, he walked right over to Ron McBride.
Yeah.
Right? And Ron McBride is a true Utah guy.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering if that not necessarily rejuvenates, but just energizes it to a higher level, because Scalley, out of everybody on the planet, there's no more of a Utah guy than Morgan Scalley.
Yeah, Morgan, it's an authentic approach he has with donors. He's got such incredible relationship. He's been doing chalk talks with our donors for years. We don't really talk about it much, but he'll bring a group in and he'll kind of talk about what things he's thinking about. He's done that forever. He's always telling me, Mark, let's go see somebody. He works with Matt Webb. He told Matt, let's go see some companies. He already wants to meet the monster people. He's, that's just kind of in his personality. He's a very outgoing way about him. We had a donor event at my house a couple weeks ago, and Morgan was there and just gave an incredible talk. It's just when someone's very authentic and talking about something they're passionate about, it's pretty powerful. So people lean in, and yeah, we're getting a lot of support. It's pretty exciting.
What's on the playlist? What's your music go-to?
It's funny. I'm on an 80s kick right now.
I live there, bro.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm stuck.
I don't.
Bananarama?
Devo? A couple Bananarama songs. I roll it on
more of a rocker, like.
Yeah, I mean, I roll. I love the Eagles. That's I love. But when I'm out running in the morning now, I just got the 80s mix.
And it's just that
80s.
You
think about these memories,
Tina Turner will come on to, Phil Collins.
Well, Phil Collins. Yeah.
He was unbelievable in the 80s, just one after the other.
So, yeah, that whole deal. I mean, I'm kind of, we just know what his playlist is. He just played a Again, sorry about your parents.
Honor my parents.
Lord. You know what that reminded me of?
My mom?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to have to miss a game today, I mean, Mom,
The mother was sick for 25 years.
I do a really good Majerus, Mark.
I imagine you do.
Okay.
There's Mark, and of course a lot of questions about this new deal and private equity. Maybe it's more venture capital than private equity. I don't know, fine line, tomato. The one thing I do think, and I talked to Mark about this at the golf tournament. We bumped into each other at the Ron McBride tournament, and he mentioned that. He said, he goes, I know you wanted a number. I'm like, yeah, I want a number, but I would think you want a number too, because people are so down on private equity. So many of us, yeah, me too, have had a bad experience with it. And, the one size doesn't fit all, and there are outliers, even if most in the industry is one way. And, what's the goal? Is there a goal? And maybe there are multiple goals, a number that's a decent result, a number that's a good result, a number that's a great result, kind of that low, medium, high kind of thing. Because without a goal, it'll never be enough. Now, if there's a goal, this can't, solve everything, right? If it's going to get them $1 billion, everybody else will do it twice as big and get $2 billion. So, Ohio State's going to run you down one way or another. Even if you make a good move and zig, they're going to zigzag, and catch up to you. So I do think for that reason, it'd be good to throw something out there and kind of say, this is the ballpark, these are parameters of what we're looking for this to produce. And that's the bottom line. You got to have the money to compete. As PK said in that middle of the interview, if you don't have the money, you are up the creek, and you do not have the paddle, and you know what creek you are up. All right, we can take a break. When we come back, quarterback Devon Dampier, head coach Morgan Scalley. Stay with us. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, let's get back to the Star. And the guys are talking with Utah head coach Morgan Scalley.
former radio host here on 97.5.
Red and Blue Show. Let's go.
He's one of our own, man.
Play the sounder.
If Morgan can do it, I know there's a chance for me.
That's so true.
How you doing,
by the way? You can do anything. I'm the poster child for, hey, you can do anything. If this guy can be successful, you can do it too.
Oh, man. You enjoying making the rounds? I know you're not really, but at least we get you right out of the gate instead of, interview number 25 when you're running on fumes.
Hey, priorities, right?
I know.
Priorities. This is the crew
right
here.
I'm wondering, we've known you for so dang long, right? And we know about you and you know us and all that stuff. Has it yet, or maybe not yet, been a time where the enormity of it all has been something that you've fully grasped, because you had a lot of people that you're responsible for, but now you got everybody, and there's really nothing like a football coach at the college level, the D1, the amount of people that essentially you're responsible for.
Right. And honestly, I'm so grateful that it got thrown on me by surprise for the bowl game. It got thrown at there. You're into it, and you're responsible for these guys and your staff, and in Las Vegas, where you're trying to keep kids out of trouble and making sure that they make bed check, and all of a sudden you're thinking about the staff hires and all the craziness that was going on during that time. So I'm grateful that it was kind of like baptism by fire, bam. But honestly, I've kind of been preparing for it along the way, right? So it hasn't been too big of a deal.
A lot of steps.
Yeah, no question.
Your journey has been awesome. I saw you last night, talked to you, had the opportunity to coach myself for a long time, and never made that move. So I know there's a lot of people that know of you and appreciate what you've done in your journey, and B, are really excited for it to unfold. What's the thing you're looking forward to most in terms of the upcoming season?
I just want to, people are asking, what are your anticipations? What are your goals? I want to see the culture show up on the field. That's what I'm excited for. And I'm following, arguably the greatest Utah coach of all time, and Kyle Whittingham. And, it's like, hey, what are you going to do different? I'm like, it's the same recipe to win. It's maybe you're preparing the meal a little bit differently. It's how you're preparing it. It's making sure that I'm true to myself. But I'm really excited, particularly for the guys in the program that really not a lot of people know about quite yet. Every year there's guys that come along.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple years ago you lose Keanu Tanabasa, you lose Cam at the corner spot, and it's like, who's going to step up? Who's going to be that guy? And lo and behold, you get John Henry Daly that comes in and does an unbelievable job, and Jonah Le'e and some of these guys that people really didn't know about. And that's our job as coaches, is to recruit, develop, manage, and so I'm excited for these guys that are about to show their face this season.
You've had, obviously the press conferences, the fundraising, the public appearances, everything that goes along with being a head coach, stuff that, you're not necessarily signed up for, but it's part of the job. How excited are you to just actually get a whistle, get out on the field, start fall camp, and start playing games on Saturday and move past all this other bureaucratic stuff you have to do?
Well, that's what I miss the most, is having a position group, having guys to teach. And I'll go around during practice and make sure that I'm continuing to do that. But I miss having a position group. I love being on the offensive side, with Kevin being like, yeah, let's screw with Swan here. Here's how you can screw with our defense, and seeing what they think. I've always wanted that. I think honestly, like in football, I think having a year where all you do is just go learn. I wish I had a year of just going and
like being
just in a different offensive coordinator's room each week. And how do they prepare, and what are they looking at, and what are they teaching their quarterbacks? I continue to be a student of the game. There's so much to learn in this game, and so many good coaches out there. And I think you just have to have that mindset that you never have the answers, always looking for ways to improve. And I'm enjoying that side of things, is being with the offense a little bit more.
on that subject, you have an opportunity to have an imprint. You know, I got to know several of the offensive coordinators, I should say, offensive coordinators. And, you know, the one thing in common, for better or worse, well, the philosophy was protect the defense. All right? Take that. And there was a lot of success there, so I'm not criticizing it. Right. But I'm just saying what they told me. And basically now you have an opportunity to make your imprint. You know, I'm not saying you're going to call the plays and whatnot. You've got the offensive people. But what is going to be your philosophy offensively? Because a lot of fans are wondering, well, will they open it up more?
I gotcha. I've told people this. I want to be explosive offense no matter what that looks like. Now, having said that, you have to be physical. If you are not physical, this game will exploit you. You'll be found out at the highest levels. You may get by beating teams that are inferior physically, athletically, but ultimately when good plays good and you're playing dudes, you'll get exposed if you're not physical. And you have to have a complete team to do that. Meaning, it's tough to be a physical defense. It's tough to be a physical defense if all you're seeing every single week is a spread offense that doesn't shift. They don't motion. They don't run the ball. They don't run gap scheme. Like, you have to have complementary football. We had that with Andy, right? We had that with Jason. And so an offense that when you practice every day, you're getting physical. And I think it's just tough for those teams that don't present that team aspect of football.
The physical side has always kind of been the staple. I mean, you talk about your culture on the field. What does that look like? You know, over time, but culture on the field, what does that mean? Unpack that.
Yeah, so our culture, if you ask anyone in our building, is relentless, smart, nasty ball hawks. Relentless in the way you pursue the ball. Relentless in the way you pursue anything. Smart, situationally intelligent. Understanding that an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator for that matter, they're different in different situations, you know, throughout a game. A 2-minute situation versus a 4-minute situation, backed up, red zone. All these situations present themselves in a game, and your players need to understand those situations at an elite level. So that's got to show up on the field, right? Nasty is simply a no excuses mentality. Own your role. Don't point fingers, you know, attack the problem. That's the ball, that's the goal line, whatever it is, attack. And then ball hawks, I think it's, 22 years now we've had a pick six. So on the offense, that's protecting the ball, and on the defense, that's getting it back to the offense. The ball's meant for us to have.
So throughout the years, everybody just assumes it's the Kyle Whittingham defense, but there's been different iterations of it. You know, Kalani, from John Peace to you. What is your message to Colton Swan? Because the foundation's in place, but you also want him to put his fingerprints on that.
Oh, no question. Go get it, cowboy.
Literally,
that's my guy. Exactly. Yeah, he's still ropes. He team ropes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's
take
been
the boy out of Jerome. You can't take Jerome out of the guy.
Yeah, and he's given me so much in terms of ideas, and it's his time. You know, Kyle was very good to me in the sense that he was always a sounding board, but he let me do what I want to do. The first couple years he was there in my ear, but after that, he kind of just let me roll. And so you bet it is Fred Whittingham, it is Kyle Whittingham base defense, and ultimately we've just tried to improve each year, a little wrinkle here, wrinkle there, but so much of good football is fundamentals.
It's funny you say that, Morgan, about Fred Whittingham. Cully Papinga, I don't know how much you know him. He's obviously the defensive coordinator at BYU. Well, I covered him as a player when I was a newspaper guy, so I've known him for many years, and I'm talking to him after he gets the gig, and he references Fred Whittingham because it was taught to Kyle. It was taught to Kalani. It was taught to Gary Anderson. Now those are two guys. Where are they? They're down there. Yeah.
So it's like the influence is huge, right? It's huge, and so much credit to that family, and it will continue to be seen, that influence throughout the years.
That's just amazing.
It really is, considering the longevity and the history there. Can't be more fired up for you. Excited. I will fully admit, and I say this over and over, I am not unbiased when it comes to you.
I don't think anybody. I think that's the cool part.
You're just a good human being, and can't thank you enough for hanging out with us. And go get it, man.
I just appreciate you not sharing all the dirty, horrible stories about Scalley. And
I got one.
That's the next segment, Morgan. We wouldn't do that in front of you.
Not
That's
in front
next.
of me, at least.
Yeah.
Right? Not in front of me.
One.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's not really bad, but we used to be able to have more access to practice, and we're in the stadium one day, and you got furious, man, and you just cut loose. And the funny thing is that it went stone silent. Oh, Morgan Scalley, wow, he is just irate, and you could hear a pin drop in that stadium. And I'm sure you don't even remember it. And plus, it's echoing because there's not that many people in there, right? And I'm just wondering how you're going to be disposition-wise now that you're the leader, because everybody's eyes are going to be on you.
It's been different. It really has been different. As a defensive coordinator, it is so much about passion and energy.
Yeah.
And your guys seeing you, and whereas as a head coach, I'm all about the how we're doing things. Is the culture showing up? So I'm still competitive as all get out. You're still going to hear me. Mm-hmm. It's just it's a different role, and so it doesn't require as much of that.
There's Utah football coach Morgan Scalley. Now here's the quarterback, Devon Dampier.
How are you, sir?
Good, y'all. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Hey, when did you really feel comfortable last year? Was it right out of the gate, or did it take a few games to really feel like, okay, I got this?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, like after Wyoming, that was like, okay, like we're good. First 3 games, like that was like okay, like we're settled in, kind of we're that team. And then we ran into Tech. That game went south for us, but it was kind of like a wake up call for me. I felt like that was like, okay, I know where I need to get. I know where I need to get to. I need to be able to play against a good team in the Big 12 and be able to put up points and stuff like that. And I think that was like a humbling experience for me to feel that, and that's kind of feeling I never wanted the rest of the season. So I would say after that, definitely felt like I was comfortable, kicked in. Film watching became more relevant on the field, just stuff like that. Just got more comfortable, no doubt.
Always impressed with the way you handled yourself, even in the losses. It's like you were never down. You may have been even, but you're usually up. How do you explain that? Because I've been doing this for a long time, and just super impressed with your disposition.
Yeah, I think, just growing up watching NFL games, those are the guys that make those comebacks, the crazy comebacks. You always see it, and, they always get asked about it. And the way they answer is how I envision myself, when we get in games like that. When they're down, the quarterback's got to be the guy that his body language shows that, he still believes in his team. And he also wants his team to look at him and know, we're fine. As long as Devon's up, as long as our quarterback, who we consider our leader, is uplifting, and he believes that we can go win this game. Why shouldn't I? So just to give that energy, let the guys feel that. I think that's important to when games are going south for you. That there's always the north that we've been practicing all this time. That we're going to see that.
How do you and Bird anticipate working together? Because I got to imagine Kevin McGivern's got some stuff up his sleeve.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I think Bird will turn into like our all-around kind of player. You'll see Bird everywhere, slot, running back, switcheroo, quarterback stuff. And, he'll just kind of be that literally athlete, go down as athlete, this year. And then, after my time, Bird knows that the quarterback position is for him to grab and, be that guy. So that's kind of how it is going into this year.
Your bowl game, you look so comfortable out there. The feeling coming out of that, and obviously stayed. Is it obviously, a day and age where everybody's running. When anything comes up hard, you could have run, but why'd you stay?
Man, I would say Scalley has a lot to do with that, no doubt. Switch of a head coach, and I enjoyed it as a man, and just to have that change and losing my OC as well. Scalley made it known that he had belief in me, before I came here. He saw me play at New Mexico. He was a big part of, why I ended up being at Utah. He honestly had tremendous trust in my abilities. So to hear that from, your future head coach, to know he had that belief, he made extra efforts to make sure he talked to me. And, those things don't go unnoticed for me. And, felt safe to, be at Utah another year.
Yeah, it makes sense for the successes you had. And I second what Tim said. I think the best of Devon Dampier was on display in Las Vegas against Nebraska. You were just sensational. You kept it up this year. It's like, wow, you guys are going to have a phenomenal season. There's no doubt about it. But Jason Beck isn't there anymore, and you had him at New Mexico. Obviously you had that package. You came together, and so you guys were able to hit the ground running. Well, now you've been a starting quarterback for a couple years. You get a new OC. If I'm him, I'm just tailoring my offense to you, and obviously Bird also. I don't know that the transition needs to be that difficult, so I'm assuming it's not going to be.
Yeah, correct. That was a huge part of me staying also. Scalley made it known to me what type of OC he wanted, and someone that tailors to his quarterback first and then goes from there. And, Coach McGiven made that known that he loved my abilities. He would make sure I felt comfortable every time I'm out there on that field. Whatever plays, whatever flows, whatever fits my skill set, he won't make me play outside of that. And just to hear that from the beginning and then getting the spring ball, and, that is how he goes about it. Gives me full trust out there, full authority, and, man, it makes me play very comfortable. So just the fact that, he kind of rolls the same way as Beck, just to start off with the quarterback and expand from there, it definitely feels very similar.
All right, there's Devon Dampier. When we come back, what is trending? The headlines are next.